Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 62 of Orchid Bay. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Last time out we set up a lot of national road connections, a big dual carriageway system that ties our highways together and also gives a secondary entrance into Sharon as well, although it doesn't really sound like the greatest sentence, does it? But today we want to start heading into these 81 tile spaces and developing another of the angry middle-aged women towns to accompany Sharon and Karen. So, should be a lot of fun. Nice landscape to work with against a really cool riverbank. Let's do some building, shall we? So let's start our new master plan town by bringing across some road frames. We drew this local road in last time, didn't we, from the connections that now come out of Sharon. I think we'll use a bit of a content creator bridge here. I reckon a bit of 2-lane European stone would be most welcome for crossing this river. I imagine sort of the towns out this way, especially this one we're doing today, is going to be much more of a sort of older town, right? So we want the infrastructure to try and reflect that where it can. And I think we'll actually stick with the 2-lane European road here, just for the nice sidewalks we get on it, with the kind of like a paved pavement, isn't it, if you like. Let's go with that, and I want this road to run sort of directly through the heart of the town, probably down to about here. I think that should be fine for me, and that will provide a connection off of this national road as well. So let's bring that into play. I think probably just another roundabout junction on the I guess dual carriageway is what we were calling it, weren't we? Cool. So we'll have our roundabout look a little bit something like this. Should do us a decent enough job, I think. Keep traffic flowing. Pretty similar to the design of what we've got at the end of it before we hit the motorway junction a little bit further down. Cool. So again, I don't want kind of lots of big chunky 4 lanes around here. Maybe the occasional one just for kind of decoration purposes, but really want to stick to these cute local roads for the majority of the build today. Cool, so we'll treat this as a bit of a main strip, get some nice trees and whatnot knocking around here during our time lapse today. And I also want a big park to be part of this town too, and we are going to name it after the angry middle-aged women tradition that we've got. Of course, we've got Sharon and Karen, so we'll give this one a name a little bit later on in the episode as well. So we've also got rail line factor in here too, so let's get the local roads on the ground first so we know exactly where those are going to lie, and then we can have the train probably pass over it, I imagine. So I definitely want to respect a lot of the river walk here today, pathways and whatnot, and trees. Nothing overly engineered either, just pretty simple path designs if we can afford them. And then let's bring that one onto the guideline, hook it back into the main route into town. And then we can bring some different designs off here, I imagine, get some nice high density housing in here as well. I'm also perhaps feeling a little bit of European zoning in here today. Alright, well, we'll see how it goes. Cool, so as people kind of come into the town here, I want them to look into this sort of major park space. So we'll have the park space start here in the middle, and then we'll start bringing out some curvier roads here that will essentially create the park shell. So I definitely want this to come up a little bit further toward the river, and around here. So basically everything inside this interior space will become that big central park space. Also draw a road of this one on a 90-degree angle so we can come down here like such. Pretty happy with that. And then we want to delete this road as well. I'd love to have a bit of a stream flowing through the park here, and because we've got the flowing rivers, it's definitely going to be quite easy to do that, I think. So let's have a little plan of where that could come in. If we were to chisel away this height, we could let the water flow in. It should flow at a pretty nice speed and level there. Yes, it will. Okay. We don't want it to be this wide, but we'll terraform it down to the width that we want once the water's all stabilised. As you come through here and then come through the park space, and then cross over this way and then join back up with the river on this side, which again should hopefully let it flow down. We'll temporarily remove some of these segments and then we'll do some more kind of older style bridges using this same type of road. There we go. Let's make sure that's all the same level. Probably a good idea actually to do a little bit of slope terrain through the middle as well. Make sure that all that sort of stream bed is on the same layer. And then I'll also just chisel away a little bit of this, so this side of the river might be able to flow down a bit too. Forest brush, what we don't want around here at the same time. Cool. How does that affect our landscape here? Really isolates this area over here, doesn't it? But it's cool. I like that though. We can get some residential out there because I want this to be a fairly substantial populated town. Cool. Yeah, so more of these bridges are great news. Same thing over here again as well. More than happy to have that over there. We'll develop some more grids up this way. I'd definitely like some sort of schools and services to sit out this way, I think. We do have a little bit of a hill here. I don't want to get too far away. I don't want it to be another metropolitan area, just a cuter, smaller town, but I think it'd be wrong of us to avoid some nice little elevation changes above the town here, wouldn't it? So there's kind of a natural gully there in the hill where a road would make sense to go up. So let's bring some stuff through there. And again, I think we'll just have some pretty basic residential knocking around in these spaces. So we'll allow all those zonings to hold said developments in different shapes and sizes, and we'll do something similar over here as well, I imagine. Pretty nice place to live at this town, which we will get that district painted out and give it a name now as well. So the town is going to be called Denise, but it's going to be a slightly more refined Karen. You know, whereas Sharon smells like fish and Karen is full of drunk football hooligans, Denise is a more sophisticated Karen, likes to complain that perhaps her croissant is a little dry and tells people that it's perhaps pronounced Denis in order to sound a little bit more sophisticated, but her name is actually Denise. So that's what we'll go for. So now we've got these roads down, let's bring across some of that rail action, because we're definitely going to have an elevated train station in here, which I think one of Bad Peanuts is going to be the most appropriate solution over this way. And the only problem with Bad Peanuts is they're pretty girthy, aren't they? They're pretty enormous. Could also do a Railroad of Japan one. That does provide a slightly alternative, calmer station, doesn't it? Or we could just bring it off and kind of put it in an entirely separate area of the town. But I think here in this case, though, I'm going to prefer to bring the train line into a different direction into the town, perhaps have it run parallel with what is going to become a main street, in which case I think we'll do some 4-lane American road. Again, it's got that nicer pavement on it, hasn't it? Or we could do the European one. I think we'll do the European one. We'll have this 4-lane run down here for a little bit, and then we will have our train station on here as well. We'll just have it as part of the main street, I imagine. Definitely want to terraform that laid back a little bit too. Yeah, that's going to make a little bit more sense for me, I think. So we'll just have one rail crossing in the town. The trains can carry on flowing out of here and into further towns that are yet to be developed, but we'll at least prepare networks to factor them in. So yeah, that's going to change, but at least it's there for right now. And then can you come across here? Yes, you can. Wonderful news. But we'll have that happen there. And then this train line now just basically wants to have its approach angle ever so slightly shifted. Let's do this embanked layer a little bit further down the dual carriageway. Also forest brush a little bit of this as well, so we're not losing that tree count, because we are. We have actually hit the tree count a few times in Orchid Bay. I've had to go and shave off some areas to make them a little less tree heavy. And I think we can make a bit of a song and dance, can't we? Of having the train line come over the sort of entrance roundabout into the town. Something along those lines, and then hopefully as we hit a road guideline here we can descend down in a somewhat sensible fashion without triggering the train, please, hopefully, although that does look like it will upset them, so we'll do as smooth a gradient as we can on that bridge. Cool, I don't think I hate that at all. I think that'll do us quite a nice job, actually. I think maybe as well, just want to bring that across and smooth it out a little bit. That's a slightly nicer approach there, isn't it? Cool, so we can factor that into the actual entrance of the town itself, which I think is going to be quite appropriate. I think I'll enjoy that. I definitely want to start framing this road as well in the entrance to the town. So let's do some European 2-lane stone to get that nice pavement in. And then I want the zoning here that's going to come off of these roads to be grassline streets. Then same deal over here again as well. And then we'll change this to a nicer tree. I reckon a live oak will do as a job here. And then hopefully we can start to have a bit of a design around this town here. Let's test out some high density zoning. I definitely wouldn't be averse to some high density knocking about here. We'll see what grows up. Same thing over here as well. Just get some bulk zoning in, see if there's any asset patterns that develop that we're a fan of, and then we can run with that. Cool, but this isn't too bad. In terms of other residential sort of themes and designs, I think I'm most on board with running with European suburbia, which I know we use a lot, but I think for vanilla housing, it's the most appropriate, isn't it? So we'll feed this road off now as the main street runs down, and this can probably follow the rail across into another bridge as we head over the road. And then we can have this is the town, and then we'll also have some slightly less fancy roads here as we just develop what will become mostly just outer-lying suburbia for the town of Denise, or Denis as she tells people is how it's pronounced, which of course it isn't. It's pronounced as Denise. In order to add to sophistication levels, it's Denis. Cool. So just general frames here. Get a fair amount of suburbia. Again, don't go too close to that river. We want quite a heavily forested riverbank to feature as part of this town's design. So don't want the houses right up against the water. Imagine we're going to have a big dirt pathway that runs all the way around here and back up this side too. Cool, this is growing up. We definitely don't want any of these. Maybe green cities. I wanted to try European, didn't I? I didn't want to try a bit of European suburbia. Well, not European suburbia, actual European zoning. So let's see if we can get some European houses growing. I guess we'll see what comes in. Cool, otherwise this isn't too bad. We definitely need a school for this town as well, so we need elementary and high school, which is perfect. So for the high school, we'll have it sat here on the entrance into town, I think. Move it over a little bit. I know we did zone up this with residential, but we'll remove that for the time being. Let's give them a fancier sport. Definitely tennis over basketball, I think. Something like that. Let's give them a little bit of car parking as well. I'll also do a little dirt pathway through the middle there too. Around the back of the asset. And then a bit more car parking there as well for the school. Should go down quite nicely, I think. Also parks as well for all the people in this area, isn't it? So I think we'll upgrade this road here to have no zoning, which in turn will allow the priority zoning onto that street there, which will hopefully give us some nicer European suburbia designs. Let's go ahead and get that park area set up too, because we 100% want this to be part of the city. So yeah, you're going to be paying, aren't you, while you're doing that. That's okay though. And what we will do is do a little road trip to get this to sit centrally. So we essentially want to create a new snapping that isn't aligned with the grid. So if we go for like here, I reckon. Something like that. See how the grids are now misaligned? But we can centralize it with this road off of that grid. And then when we come to reform the original road frame, and we can bring up that European stone lane here again to make sure they're connecting where they should. There we go. And now we've got the centralized park gate at the entrance to the town, which I think will be a very much an appreciated aesthetic, won't it? And then we'll paint this park area out. Let's go ahead and just out over this general area. Cool. We'll definitely kind of park gate or park fence all this up as well. I'd love to get those trains flowing actually, so we're not extending the service out of Sharon. This is actually a new service now that has to be developed, which I think in this case actually warrants Sharon's train station getting an upgrade. So we'd just go to a large elevated station, couldn't we? I think that's what we'll do, hopefully without too much duress. It's not going to be a pain to fit in here. There we go. So Sharon Station gets an upgrade. Let's now move those tracks for Sharon's stop. So we'll grab our train tracks here. We want to grab that one there. So yeah, Sharon's train line now goes that way, which is fine. And then I'll start a new line here. Now it's going to run down the same Sharon line, but then it's going to veer off to come off toward Denise. It can come down here. And then it can stop here because that's all it has to do right now. Let's grab that train line, and this will be Sharon to Denise, and we'll give this a nicer train model. Let's go for fabulous. So I'm sure the people of Sharon will be thrilled with their new train station. Hopefully it's going to get just as much use as the other one. You see people here? There's a lot of people waiting to get out of Sharon, isn't it? which is quite telling. But that's okay. We've got a bit of a kink there in the line, haven't we? We'll sort that out in a second though. There we go. Have a little look actually at this Sharon to downtown line. The busy one, this. Takes a lot of people back into the inner city. Could probably do actually with another train on it, to be fair. There's a 253 waiting at this stop here, which is the downtown stop actually. A lot of people. 3,000 coming through this hub a week now. Absolutely delicious, isn't it? That monorail as well. Get a decent amount of use now, isn't it? Wonderful news, everyone. Very nice indeed. Anyway, let's not get distracted by trains. How do we feel about the European suburbia on the way? Oh, sorry, not European suburbia. Actual European zoning is what I mean to say. I've got to be honest, I'm a fan of that. That's rather nice, especially framing the town entrance, isn't it? I really like that, and having that corner asset there is a real compliment to the park, isn't it? Okay, I think we'll get on board with that then for our high density option around town, which we will have a few of, I think. We'll go for that European high density. Let's also do some zoning upgrades here as well, so we get more grid space here. Really want to try and bring some of this residential demand down today. So I think with the vanilla high density European, big blocks of it is definitely the best way to go. This stuff gets super ugly if you allow it to sort of do what it wants. Can we make that one a little bit wider if we allow it to grow out a little bit? See what happens there. Then we'll have some of it here as well. And these larger zoning grids is what I'm trying to fulfill here. If we at all can. Yeah, I'm a fan of having that up there. I think we're going to need to create 2 districts because I think I do want low density housing up here too. That is European suburbia, but of course we can't. It's 2, same with the specialisation, isn't it? So we'd have to do 2 districts, but I might just test some vanilla housing up here on the hill. See if it blends in with the theme, but I've got a feeling it won't. We'll just wait and see. So I love some actual park assets factored in to the park itself. So let's get those in, keep increasing the land volume, making people want to live over here. So we'll have things like the pond park. That's going to fit perfectly there, isn't it? So we'll have a little bit of that. Not bothered about this being a park that charges people to get in. I'm really using it for just the aesthetic of the park gates, I think. And I do want park gates around it, so I'll make sure we stick to them. Let's have another side gate over here. We'll do one on this side, and then we'll do one opposite the train station. I actually wonder if we want to upgrade a section of this train road here into a different sort of road. So we can generate a pedestrian crossing out the front. If a pedestrian crossing will come, there we go. We can do that, but it does break the road hierarchy though. Unless we did it as 2-lane, it would be okay. Okay, I think we'll do that then. Let's bring that European content creator road up to the edge of the station. And then we'll switch to that 4-lane bus with trees, and that way we're going to get the pedestrian crossings so they can get over to the park if they want. Again, we'll have this one here. And then we'll upgrade the trees here again too. Into, I think I'm feeling live oak for this town, I don't know why. Gonna speak to me, I think. These guys are not within Denise's district, are they? Let's make sure we properly change that then. There we go. You guys should be European high density. Please regrow. Oh, that's a lot of repeated assets there, isn't it? I don't mind though, kind of makes it look like a larger building, doesn't it? I think I'll be on board with that. I think we'll make that particular section historical. And I definitely want to keep this corner building historical as well. Cool, so let's get some part pathways now flowing around the town into various different configurations. Can we get this in one smooth movement? Yes, we can. And then bring this one straight across the board. Going to be really cool having the stream as part of our park, isn't it? It's not something we usually get to do, of course, because we don't play with extra landscaping tools in Orchid Bay, so water features aren't really that common. Yeah, lots of this, lots of connectivity with the paths, and hopefully... No, we'll do it in a different one. Let's bring it out on an angle instead. There we go. Cool, and then that gives us plenty of opportunity to bring park assets in here, for which I wouldn't be actually averse to perhaps a birdhouse or something. I think that would be quite nice in a park like this. Something like that by the water. I think I'll probably want to soften a lot of this stream out as well. Don't want it to be that intense, you know. Something like that should be okay. Yeah, there we go. I think plenty of overgrowth and a couple of rocks around the stream bank as well. Should be quite nice. There we go, people enjoying the park already. Something like to see, isn't it? How about the train line? Yeah, not bad, is it? It's getting a fair bit of use already. But it's only going to get busier. So you set up a secondary district called Greater Denise, and we're going to give this our European suburbia specialization. Because vanilla is just way too varied and there's no control over whether Art Deco comes in or these little numbers. So I think I'm much more on board with the uniformity of European suburbia when it eventually does come in. And I'm a big fan of actually having these houses on the little terrace when they do actually spawn in. So they're slightly elevated than the road down here. Really like that aesthetic, so that'll be really cool once all that's grown in. But let's get some commercial demand in now, and then I don't think we're too far away actually from moving toward that bit of a detail in time lapse. So we've got nice big chunks along this back road. There's no major broken zoning, so I think a bit of commercial faced into the park space would be really appreciated there. Probably have some in and around the school as well, especially backing up onto this rail line. Bit of commercial here would be welcome too. Definitely here as well if we can upgrade this tree-lined road with the zoning adjuster, which by the way, having now gone back to playing Cities 2 without the zoning adjuster, I didn't realise how useful that tool actually is. It's a real shame that it's been taken from CS2, isn't it? That zoning adjuster road. And then in terms of the entrance here, I think we're just going to have that build guide forest kind of refill this area again. There's a bit of a boundary between the town and the main road. So I mentioned a riverwalk, didn't I? Definitely want to do something with that. So let's grab some vanilla dirt pathway. And are you just going to sensibly create a bridge for me? No, that's well too high. Let's see if we can do that again together. Let's take off our road guideline snap 2. That will snap into the grid. And then just want this to meander basically around the entire edge of Denis. And then we'll put this through this suburbia as well, and then we'll give this a real heavy forest brush in too, and connect it back into the local roads at various points. Also, let's also do another little crossing over there as well, see if we can get anyone walking over these distances here. I imagine they will walk down to the next town once it exists, but of course right now it doesn't. Cool, so this has turned into a really nice riverside town here now, isn't it? I'm enjoying it. Always enjoy working with kind of smaller builds. Are you okay, Pennies? You're massively encroaching upon my pavement. That's okay, I think. It's going to happen again, isn't it? So we move it, it's going to come back. I want some more of those tourism parks as well. Can we do the old bridge park in here as well? It'd be great if we could. Oh, that almost comes away from the road a little bit there, doesn't it? Does that actually allow me to draw in the park fence, despite the fact that that's on the road, because it's technically... Oh, it does as well. Okay, that's quite tasty then. So if we were to draw in this park gate here, because I definitely want to gate off this entire park, we'll leave the entrance free to the old bridge park. And then this can very nearly squeeze through, can't it? And then we'll just leave it on a slightly different gap there. And that up to the fence, and we can probably hide that gap in the fence with hopefully a tree or something. There we go. Tree and maybe a little vanilla bush. Just to hide the fact that there is a little gap in the fence there, but I'm a big fan of that. Having the kind of gap in the fence for the old bridge park. That's going to be quite a nice addition into the park space, I think, isn't it? Very cool. Really enjoying that European suburbia on the other side. Why do we keep calling it European suburbia? European high density. We've got European suburbia on the brain today. And I think I'm happy with that there as well, that little drugstore. I think that's quite cute, isn't it? I think we'll keep that in. I definitely would love some of Bad Peanuts sports fields in here as well, so let's dive into the World Content Creator Packs. And Denis strikes me as a footballing town, so we'll definitely have some football pitches knocking about. Now let's have one maybe here on the entrance into the city. We'll have one there. Cool, I guess we could also have a community football pitch in here as well, couldn't we, I guess? Although the town centre's pretty full now, but I wonder if we just remove the pathways here temporarily, what would the aesthetic be if we were to include this in here? I'm not too precious about this being a permanent fixture, we'll just move that gate over, but I want to see if we can include one of the football pitches in the park. I think that would be a pretty cool aesthetic, wouldn't it? Combining all these larger park ploppables into a park life area. I think it'd give it a very unique vibe. I'm also appreciative of the park in here as well on the front. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. But otherwise, guys, I think we're actually at a detailing town, that's to be honest. It's all about refining our zoning now. I want to bring this pathway all the way around the town again this side, so you can walk everywhere, and then it's just a case of finishing off these road frames here and getting in a significant amount more of our European suburbia zoning. Want this to be all out here, all up here as well. So just keep growing the population up. Do some little prop details where needed. We also need to do an elementary school as well. So I'll probably do an elementary school campus perhaps over here near in and around this little football pitch here. Probably just go for the regular European one, I think. Don't want a major asset. Do a bit of a elementary school campus there. And then generally tie the town of Denis together. Detail this whole park, lots of fencing, lots of trees, and lots of fun, hopefully. So, let's detail up the posher of the Karen towns, and then we'll be right back.
I just need one night where it just feels right. The stars all align, we do what we like. I just need one night where it just feels right. The stars all align. I just need one night. I just need one night where it just feels right. The stars all align, we do what we like. I just need one night where it just feels right. The stars all align. I just need one night. I just need.
Okay guys, let's have a little detailed review, shall we? So Greater Denise has grown up now with all of its European suburbia. There's graveyards over here, childcare, elder care, a bus line. Now loops back all the way to Sharon as well, using the intercity stop as a kind of transport hub. General services, bit of a med clinic, an expanded school design that we've seen plenty of times before. Playground props, little football field next to it, commercial opposite. All nice, chill suburban design that's helping to satisfy those demands that are around. And then there are a couple more bridges now linking people back to the main road. Which does have a connection back up into the hillside, which we'll get onto in a second. Okay, see more of that bus exchanging happening near the childcare and a bit more commercial over here. Advert for Cities 2 there, I wonder if it mentions the delayed console version. And then we come back into the park, which has been fully fenced up now. Really enjoyed the way we integrated the rest of these ploppable assets into the park life area itself. Turned out really cutely. We've got some benches around here so people can enjoy space by the pond. There's a little statue design further out here. Yeah, with more benches all around the cafe so people can enjoy lots of open outdoor space in Denis. Or Denise. Even I'm pronouncing it Denis now. And then, of course, a little statue with some flowers around it. The introduction, or the inclusion, I guess, of the stream through the park is like one of my favourite ever park designs. Overgrowing the banks of it, and it now just kind of shallowly flows through, you know, not nearly as deep and as fast and as wide as the main rivers that flow through Orchid Bay. Just kind of a shallower stream, really, that then joins the river. It's very much an appreciated aesthetic for a park. And then we've got our park pathway configured. Trees and a really nice open green space that really kind of focuses the town, doesn't it? Really happy with how this turned out. Plenty of people coming from the bus stops here now that again do loop back up into Greater Denise. And of course the train is currently taking people back to Sharon, but at some point in the future we'll go over there and probably loop all the way back around here, I think. Maybe coming back past the Trumpet interchange and probably looping in with this line at some point, I imagine, but that's quite a development away yet anyway. But it is getting used at least, which is always nice. We'll see if we can wait for a train here together. And there we go. Lovely. So trains are actually quite busy, alongside the buses too, so all public transport getting lots of use, which is always appreciated to see, isn't it? So really happy to see that. And then all our commercials going up remain historical, really happy with the European high density here as well. So we've got plenty of people in. We've actually brought up our population by quite a few thousand today. We're up to 87k now, so if we have a look at the population stats for Denise, we're at 1500 in the town centre, but in the Greater Denise area there's actually 5200. So we've increased it by maybe 6,700 today, which is a decent chunk to increase our population by in one go, especially for my kind of episodes. But then beyond that we come up the hill and over the rail crossing that is kind of traffic free. It's nice to see this not getting horrendously busy. Lots of people walking up in some more commercial that lines the main road. There's some elevated pedestrian pathways that curve up onto the layer so people can use them to kind of cut around the blocks if they want. And there's a little kind of commercial centre here within the suburb itself, and we just happen to get perfect zoning selection here. We got the Cranberger on the corner, which is just an ideal corner asset, isn't it? Really like that. Then we got a Shake It up here as well. That had some really nice car parking spawning on these with the zoning, especially next door to the laundromat. So really happy with that. That block right there turned out really nicely. How cute and nice like vanilla city skylines can look now, right? These assets are so nice. I almost feel like, you know, I feel like the new assets in Cities 2 are nice, but I feel like they lack the personality of the Cities Skylines 1 commercial assets. And don't get me wrong, I'm not asking for scribbles on donuts back. That's not what I want. But, you know, take the Shake It and the laundromats, for example. I don't know, I feel like Cities 2 assets aren't as full of personality as these are. Maybe that's just because I'm so used to them though, over 8 years. I guess eventually we will come to enjoy the CS2 commercials, won't we? But anyway, massively distracted. This is now all grown up as well, and I've also continued to just line up those kind of old farm field boundaries using the tree lines in and around Greater Denise, and then some pretty tasteful roundabout detailing with the water tower, because we did need a little bit of water, and we can see those trains coming over all the infrastructure now as well. And the town came out really nicely. Especially this big framing down here, dropped in a fire station too. There's a police station further into the town as well. And yeah, just really nice. Love building these smaller towns, and there's plenty more to do now. We've got access to 821 tiles. And I really enjoyed piecing this larger green space together as well. But otherwise guys, that is going to do it for today. Let's thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Likes, comments and shares below really do help to grow and bring more people to my channel and series. Equally as much if you haven't enjoyed it, then leave me a dislike as well. Big thanks for your support on Orchid Bay recently, and indeed all the Cities 2 videos as well. If you haven't seen our Cities 2 series new Friendwood, definitely go and check it out. You can find it all on the videos tab on the channel. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already. We're trying to increase our subscribe ratio, and only you guys can help me do that. So please consider, if you are watching the videos regularly and you're enjoying the content, it's free to do, and it releases vast amounts of dopamine for me. So subscribe if you want to. I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, please enjoy your cinematics, but I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.